Hi folks, I'm Ian Baker, the product specialist with Camping World, and today we're going to go over the 2018 Pioneer RG28. This is a nice toy hauler. It separates the garage from the living portion, and it still has a slide to help open up that living area. But let's start right back here in the garage. So you have a decent sized garage here. It is 11 foot long, so you can fit some bigger toys or maybe multiple toys in here. If you take a look at the floor, you will notice your 6 tie downs. You have 2 right up here, then you have 2 more underneath each side on your bench seats. You'll also notice you have ducted heat back here in the garage. Cool thing about that is that makes this a really nice living area. You'll see the linoleum goes all the way through again to help give this a little more of a residential feel. As you'll notice right now, we do have both of the couches down on the side. We also have the table set up right here. The thing I love about this floor plan, folks, is after you get the toys out, this garage space, again, having that linoleum gives it that residential feel. This massive table right here lends itself to have a lot of guests over for entertaining. You can sit here, you can play a number of games, you can have drinks together, eat meals together. You can easily fit 6 to 8 people here at this table very comfortably. Not only that, but it also drops down to make some large beds. Each one of these individually, if you take a look right here, is 70 inches long by 32 inches wide. So it makes a really big, great single bed on either side. Or if you want to make this one large bed, you can drop the table here down, put the cushions right on top, just like so. You'll do that on both sides. And this gives you a massive 70 by 92 inch bed. So definitely some great sleeping options here in the back. Also, when you are sitting back here, if you want a nice breeze coming through, you can open up the door, just have the screen here. You'll also see you have a screen along the back, so you can drop that ramp down and get some great cross ventilation. Speaking of ventilation, you will notice you have an exhaust port right behind the one sofa couch there. You have one here, another one right up here, so that way you can get any exhaust fumes out that happen to be stuck in here. If you do have anyone sleeping in here, you'll see that you have an electrical outlet right down below. Even if you're just here hanging out and need to charge your cell phone, you can do that too. You also have windows on both sides, the one side being an emergency exit. Directly above that, you have LED lights and you have the storage area. You'll see you have the nets here, so that way it is easy access for anything you do store up there. You also have LED lights in the ceiling back here, as you'd expect. You know, a lot of times with toy haulers, you are taking them boondocking, and having the LED lights are great because not only do they not put out as much heat, but they also use a fraction of the power. I mentioned this secondary door right here, so this door obviously comes right in the garage. You can always walk up the ramp too if you put the ramp down if you so desire. Also, if you take a look right up here on the wall, you will see the connection for a TV. So if you want to sit back here and watch a show, or again, if people are sleeping back here, they have the capability of watching TV before they go to bed. The garage is separated from the main living space, as I mentioned, and it is separated by the pass-through bathroom here. So you do have a couple different doors, one here leading into the main living area, the other one obviously into the garage. If we take a look right over here, you will see your foot flush lever toilet. As you will notice, you do have plenty of leg room there in front, as well as plenty of shoulder room as well. Over to this side is the tub shower. I apologize for the antifreeze. This one obviously is winterized. But I do like having a tub for a couple reasons. One, if you have any small kids with you, you can still give them a bath. And two, the threshold here comes up a lot higher, so the curtain stays in the tub a lot better. Whereas with a shower, it tends to kind of move back and forth and you get water all over the floor. You'll also see that you have shelves there in case you need to store your soap and shampoo. Then you also have a hand wand to make showering just a little bit easier. Take a look up top, LED light. This, of course, is your ducted AC. You have that ducted all the way throughout. You also have your vent fan there to help dry it off a little. We take a look over on this side. Right up top here is your mirrored medicine cabinet. So great place to put toothbrush, any other bathroom beauty products, whatever else you need to put in there. On the wall right here, you'll see you have your hand towel ring. So that way when you dry your hands off, you got a spot for that. You also have an electrical outlet there to plug in your hair dryer, curling iron, whatever else you need. I love how big the countertop is here in the bathroom. You don't get that a lot in a travel trailer. Usually they're pretty small countertops. Not at all the case here. You have plenty of room for your toothbrush holder, or if you have an electric toothbrush you need to charge, you can put that over here. You have a spot to put your curling iron down, everything else. I do certainly appreciate the size there. And then underneath, you'll also see you have great storage here as well. So even if you want to put a small trash can under there, you can make that work. Or again, it's a great spot. You can kind of use it as a pseudo linen closet, roll up your towels and set them in there as well. As we step up into the main living space, as I mentioned previously, you'll actually see it is pretty decent size thanks to the slide out we have right over here. If we take a look at our kitchen, that's pretty usable as well. What you'll notice is they give us the double bowl stainless steel sink here as well as the full cooktop, so that way you have the full range of appliances. Also with the stainless steel sink, you have not only a high rise, but a pull-out faucet. This is something you don't often see, in this price point. Usually have to jump up quite a ways, so I really appreciate that they're thinking of not just the garage portion when it comes to toy hauler, but the living portion here as well. Moving over to this side, this is your 3-burner cooktop with the glass cover, so you can use this as prep space. Fold it up and back just like so. That'll reveal your 3 burners. The front one there is high output, so if you need to boil some water or if you're in higher altitude, that'll generally be the one you want to use. Right down underneath is your oven in case you want to do some baking. And over to this side here, you have a cutout. I'd probably use this for spices. It's a nice little space for them there. And then you also have 2 full extension ball bearing drawers here. I really appreciate this as well, because in my opinion, any functional kitchen, you have to have at least one for your flatware. And it's great to have the second one for a lot of your larger utensils, like your knives, serving spoons, things like that. Right over next to that's a small little space. This is perfect for a small trash can. I know it's not huge. You probably have to empty it fairly often, but at least your trash bag doesn't have to hang out in the open. Right around over here to the side, fire extinguisher. Hopefully never have to use that. It's always good to know where it's at though. Right up here is your tank monitoring panel. You'll notice that your water pump is on here, but also you have 2 switches for your water heater. One is for your LP, the other is for electric. Assuming you have shore power, folks, you can turn both those on at the same time for faster recovery. You also have your tank monitoring panel on there as well. Right next to that, this switch right here is for the accent lights outside when we go out there. It's daytime, so you might not be able to see them too well, but these speakers do have like little red lights in them. That's what that one controls right there. If we take a look behind the sink, you will see that you have a window to let in natural light. You also have this built-in backsplash here. Again, just a little nicer aesthetic piece. The cooktop here, the glass kind of acts as a backsplash more than anything. Plus the glass is pretty easy to clean, but in the event that it does splash up here, that's pretty easy to clean too. Taking a look underneath, you will see you have an LED light there as well as an electrical outlet over to the side. So if you need to plug something in, that'll be the place to do it. And then right up top here, you have some additional storage. This will probably be for your cups, plates, bowls, things like that. But if you want to put food stuff up there, you can do that too. Over to this side right here are the rest of your controls. You have your slide out control on there, your awning control, and then your lights for in here and lights for outside too. A little bit of storage up top above the microwave. Nothing huge, but if you can fit some stuff up there, great. Maybe a spot for a board game or two. It's a pretty good opening for that. Underneath, you have your microwave as well as your fully functional hood with a light and fan. Up above the refrigerator, again, they tried to give you a little bit of storage there as well. The refrigerator here itself, it is a Dometic fridge-freezer combo. You have the cutout there for some of your taller items. This unit does run off both propane and electric and also has automatic switchover. And if we take a look right down below, you'll see your propane detector here. Hopefully you never have a propane leak, but if you do, that will detect it for you. And then right next to that is your fuse box. There it is, right in the center. So right here you have your breaker panel. So that'll be for your 110. Over to this side, you have your fuses for your 12 volt. And then right over here on the wall, this is your thermostat control, folks. This will control both your ducted AC as well as your ducted heat. Now, if you're out in the main living area here and you want to watch TV, that is what this is for right here. So TV obviously goes right in the center. Connected to that is your Multimedia Center right down here. This is cool. This controls the speakers in here as well as the ones outside. So if you want to listen to some music, you operate this right here. But it is Bluetooth capable, so it can connect to your cell phone. So if you music on your phone or your tablet, you can connect to that via Bluetooth and listen to it. Or if you're a big person that likes to listen to a lot of podcasts and maybe you download the latest Stories from the Road podcast, same concept, connect to that via Bluetooth and you can listen to that right here in your camper. Right underneath, you'll see you have some great storage right down there. And then you have some additional storage right here up top. You will kind of see that they have like this, beadboard or wainscoting look right here in the back and how that goes all the way up. you know, again, just a nice little extra aesthetic piece. Over to this side here, folks, is your slide out. It's a slide out U-shaped dinette. I personally love having this in here because in the back, you know, you kind of have like almost like a pseudo sofa back there with the two side sofas there. This U dinette is great because it gives you another spot where, you know, if it's just going to be your family and you just want a little bit more intimate meal, you can sit right around the table right here. Also, if you have people sleeping in the back, you know, maybe you have the kids back there or another couple, whatever it may be, you want to stay up, party, do your thing, you can, again, be right up here. The couple doors in the bathroom help separate the space for noise a little bit. You'll see you have windows all the way around to let in natural light, as well as the light right up top here. The U-shaped dinette itself does drop down into a bed as well. So again, if you need more sleeping space up here, just remove the table legs there. The table will drop down along these rails, take the back cushions, throw them on top, and that will create a bed that is large enough for 2 adults to sleep fairly comfortably. If we take a look up front, you have a privacy curtain. Again, in case you do have guests here, you're able to close that off. Your RV queen bed right up front here. There is a little bit of storage underneath. If we lift this up, you'll see this is hinged. Just kind of put your finger in that little hole there, open it up, and you can see you have access to storage. You also have an access panel in the back, so you're able to get to your water heater back there. Over on this side, you have kind of a nice little nightstand space. You will notice you have an electrical outlet there too. So if you need to charge cell phones, if you sleep with a CPAP machine, you can put it right there. Over here is your hanging space, your wardrobe. So if you need to hang up some clothes, that is where you'll do it. And then you have some additional storage going across the top there with an LED reading light underneath. Now that we've seen the inside, let's take a look at some of the outside features on the Pioneer RG28. Right up front here is your power tongue jack. This makes it super simple to hook up and disconnect from the tow vehicle. You simply flip the switch here, that will raise or lower the tongue accordingly. You also have a little light right up front in case you're hooking up or disconnecting at night. You can flip it on and that will give you some added visibility. Directly behind that are your two 20-pound propane tanks. You can see the switch over right there in the center, as well as your regulator directly underneath it. And then behind that, you will see rails here for your battery, as well as the diamond plating coming up the front, which will help protect the front end from some of your rocks and debris that may get thrown up by your tow vehicle. Coming around to the side, we have our front storage compartment. If you notice, it is a covered hinge, that way we don't have a bunch of rust coming down the door here. And if we take a peek inside, you'll see that this is some of the storage we saw when we lifted up the front of the bed there. You can kind of see that compartment up front. But again, otherwise this is great extra storage right back here. Directly underneath that, folks, you will see this one has your power stabilizer jacks. The controls for it are in the pass-through here. One of the controls will control the two front ones. The other control will be for the two rear ones. But this is awesome. After you have leveled out the coach, you parked it, you don't have to get down your hands and knees and crank anything. You just touch a button and then it will go down and stabilize the coach. Just bear in mind, folks, that is not auto level. You want to make sure your coach is already leveled. If you try to use your stabilizer jacks to level the coach out, you will bend and damage them. Right over here is your main entrance into the RV. You'll notice you have two foldable steps as well as this foldable grab handle, so that way you do have some good control when entering or exiting the RV. You'll also see you have a power awning on here. Just touch a button to roll that out. Same thing to have it go right back in. Underneath you do have an LED light strip there, so that way if you want light at night, you can open the awning up and you will have lighting. Also, the speakers here do have red lights in them. They're not currently on right now, but that switch underneath the cabinet I showed you, flip that on, you'll have red lights here. You'll also have red lights underneath the camper as well. It'll kind of have some ground effects, which give it a pretty cool look and also make it a little bit easier to find at night. Right over here, you have some of your main connections. You will see there's an electrical outlet here, as well as a cable outlet directly underneath that. So that way, if you want to have an outside TV, you'll see there's a mount right here. You can go ahead and mount the TV there. Connections are right next door. You can have that TV out here. Or if you need to plug anything else in, like a cell phone, a blender, electric griddle, whatever else it may be, you have the outlet access right there. Over next to that, this is your fresh tank fill. If you're looking to do some boondocking and you want fresh water, you want to make sure you put it in there. Directly underneath that, folks, is a black tank flush. So this is actually a great feature to have as well. What this does for you is instead of having to stick a hose with like a wand down your toilet to wash out your black tank when you're done camping, you just take a hose, hook it up right here. That black tank has sprayers built in and it will wash it out for you. Again, the reason that's important, a lot of times, you know, after you gravity dump, there'll still be some solids left in there. That'll make sure you get rid of all of it, which is great. Moving down a little bit, you'll see your furnace vent right there. Right up top here is the back of your fridge. I showed you the speakers there. As I mentioned, they have the red lights on them, but also those are connected to that Multimedia Center. And as I mentioned previously, that is Bluetooth capable. You have easy lube axles on here, so a little bit easier on the maintenance rather than constantly having to repack the bearings. If you pop off that center cap, there's a grease zerd in there. Pump some grease into it, spin the wheel around. You know, it just, again, makes the maintenance side a little bit easier. Now, you don't just want to just pump a bunch of grease in all willy-nilly. There is a process to it. Make sure you look it up so you know what you're doing, but it will save you some time on the maintenance side. This is the secondary entrance I showed you when we were back in the garage. Again, 2 foldable steps to climb up into there. Because it is your secondary entrance, it doesn't have as big of a grab handle, just a little guy here, but it still serves the same purpose. As we take a look at the back, this of course is the rear ramp door. Both sides here have space for a lock, so if you want to be able to lock it down, you can do that. Make sure no one's getting into your toys while you're away. To open up the ramp door, you simply swivel it up like so. You'll take this arm, you kind of push it in a little bit, lift it up, pull it out. You can see the whole thing will swing out. You do the same thing on this side right over here. And then what you'll notice is that you have springs right on the bottom. This actually helps when you're lowering and raising the door. Without those, it gets pretty heavy, but those helper springs definitely make quick and easy work of it. And just like that, it is lowered down, so that way you can drive your toys up in there. Or again, as I mentioned, it does make a nice ramp. You can see a little bit better the screen right there. So as I said, when we were inside, you can drop that down and have some awesome cross ventilation. If you look up above your rear lights there, right in the center, you'll notice this one also has backup camera prep. So if you want a backup camera, having the prep makes it a lot easier to have it installed. It's already pre-wired, meaning it will save you money on labor. Last thing I do want to touch on, folks, if you like to do any cooking outside, you do have a propane quick connect right here. So that way you can just plug your grill right into there and you'll be a cooking pro out here in no time. As we take a look on the off door side, you'll see right here is where your 30 amp detachable power cord will plug into. In the very back, you have your cable inlet. And if we drop right down below here, behind your axles, you will see your black tank termination. In front of the axles, right up there, will be your gray tank termination as well as your gray tank valve. Lastly, right up front, folks, you do have your city water inlet. Also, you have an outside shower up there with both hot and cold water access. All right, folks, that wraps it up. Again, this is a 2018 Pioneer RG28. If you're interested in this toy hauler and you'd like price and availability, simply click on the link in the description below. Thanks again for watching. I'm Ian Baker, and let's go camping.